Welcome back, guys, to TNM Bolt. It's your host again, Jay, and with guests Danski and DC. How are you, lads? You well? Okay, thank you very much. So basically, what we're going to do today is we're just going to do a little segment, see how it goes. It's just our subject. We're going to call this "Shoot the Breeze." Where we basically just talk about what's going on. It's not sports related, and we'll just see how things pan out. See how you guys like this. I tell you what, we'll start off with the main subject that I see everything day in day out, and that is the royals. It's not COVID, guys. It's the royal family. So, Dan, how do you feel about the royal family? Danski even. I mean, does it even impact you? Are you bothered? Do you care?
I do not care one bit about the royal family. Yeah, they bring in a lot of tourist attraction, but I think it's such an outdated thing now. Getting waited on 24/7, getting curtsied and stuff like that. It's just a frustrating topic. Especially with like the royal weddings and stuff. Like, there's so many people just like, oh, it's amazing, and watch it on TV and stuff like that. I'm just thinking, like, it's just a fucking wedding of some people, and like, it just costs so much money. There's so much wrong with this country right now. The money being spent on this could be going elsewhere. Like, our country could be so much more, and I feel like maybe not all the royal not all of it's being blamed on the royal family, but I think part of it, is the royal family kind of holding it back. I might be completely talking absolute bollocks there.
Yeah.
But like I said, yeah, the amount. I mean, let me have a look how much money spent on the last royal wedding. Continue with something else. I'm gonna have a look.
And what do you think, DC? I mean, like Danski just said, regarding the wedding, and everyone's like, if I said to you, what do you think about the royals? Everyone says exactly the same thing. I don't care, but they bring in loads of money. I think that's literally what everybody says. I mean, are you a royal supporter?
Harry and Meghan are doing great things. They're just getting on with their life. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't want that spotlight life. They're just trying to be them. I can't remember what film is it where the same thing happens. Is that a Disney film or something? It's like the
Coming to America.
What film?
With Eddie Murphy.
Coming
to America. Can you remember that?
No.
Yeah, is it
yeah,
like that,
yeah, exactly.
Dan?
Just let them do their thing, Just don't interrupt, So I think I feel that just let them get on with their lives. I think it's, like Dan said, just a bit outdated, isn't it?
But coming back to them, their wedding cost this is in dollars, $42.8 million. 94% of that was for security.
$42.8 million, did you just say? Wow. How does it show you how much revenue that
If I probably brought in a lot of revenue, but I mean, it's just so much money.
I mean, I can remember as well having time off work. Our work literally stopped for it. For people renewing their vows. Not renewing the vows, what am I on about? Renewing the vows already. It was great. It lasted a week. It basically feels like the Kardashians, but like a royal version of it, where we all like go into their lives and see it. I just think it's crazy. When you go abroad and you see their royal family,
but you don't know.
They don't get as much.
But you don't know. You don't hear about them. I know it's probably because it's not our country. But it just seems like whenever our royal family do something, it's just a global event.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I don't really get. I mean, I don't know if that's on me, but I don't really get what they do. I don't know if
I feel like it's like a kind of like if you got an open, they just seem to open stuff and go and visit new places, and it's just an honour to have a member of the royal family show up. But you could delve into it, you cannot. But there's so much shady stuff going on in that royal family in the past, in the present, and there's the amount of money that's been spent. Like, apparently $3 million of taxpayers' money was spent on Harry and Meghan's marriage pad. Sorry.
And I tell you what gets a nation frustrated, mate, and that is all the cousins and everything. They're like, is it Eugenie? Where they don't actually do anything.
She's
spend so
she's
much
Prince
money.
Andrew's daughter. I think. There's so many of them.
Yeah, right. I remember hearing a story in the paper when she went to uni. She did a flat up, a hold, and she spent $500,000 on it. On a hold, and you're thinking that's just crazy. Like you've got people in this country, and they don't. We literally fought to feed kids, and you're getting someone who's building the halls up for partial just so they can have it the way they like. This country's just so screwed.
I think there's going to be like that sort of thing no matter what country you go into. It may not be a royal family, but there's always some kind of like poverty on one side of things, and then just pure kind of riches and greed on the other. But yeah,
I think the papers. Do you think it's a race thing, Cecile? DC?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think the papers don't help either. I think I saw a meme today that was like, obviously all the Matt Hancock breaking the law stuff has been going on and being reported on social media, but it's not mainstream news because. And then there was a meme that said, something like Matt Hancock breaking the law, and then it says papers. Where's Meghan at? You know what I mean? It's just like
wasn't Meghan getting pregnant again?
Something like
that.
Was
in the papers.
Like
yeah, like.
Oh no, Kate's getting pregnant.
I think it was Meghan Markle's pregnant.
But that's fine.
I think that's enough.
Well, bottom line is the articles
set
to speak for itself.
Oh my god, yeah.
In the way that they portray Kate to the way they portray Meghan. So,
but you got to ask yourself, like,
totally different.
Did they just want a private life, or did she come in and see something she didn't like and got the hell out of there? Like, she left for Canada before he did. Like, she got out of there like something was going to happen.
Yeah,
like, it might not be related. There's all ifs and buts, but it was going along during like the Prince Andrew scandal. But yeah, she got out of England so fast. Like, she took a child, and Harry stayed behind and then met up with her in Canada. But
what they're doing is brave. But I applaud them for it. And some people might have everyone's going to have their opinion about it. But like you said, Dan, there's something not right there. But again, that will be private.
Well, let's just literally read the front lines of the Sun that I've got here. And this is the little article that they published at the front. It goes, Prince Harry and Meghan have already had their bombshell TV chat with Oprah Winfrey. The pair were interviewed by the US star last week, shortly before being stripped of their royal roles. Oprah, 67, then left for California, where the couple live, in the £50 million jet, and the sources basically going so on and so on. Now that's basically saying that they own the £50 million jet, and they're breaking lockdown rules. That's on the Sun. I mean, the Sun just won't let them go, and it's trying to turn everybody against them. You can just see that then. I mean, the Sun's a horrible paper anyway, for obvious reasons. But, what do you think to that? I mean, I know we don't really.
It's not so much their story, it's just the stories that are being put out in comparison to what should be being put out. Like, someone did a list of the outlets that were broadcasting the Matt Hancock thing situation, and it was The Guardian and the Daily Mirror. And I think Sky News were doing a medium coverage of it, but no other media outlet was reporting the Matt Hancock thing. Whereas I think the majority of the media outlet thing was reporting on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's story.
We're going through a pandemic, an absolute pandemic, and we're focusing on that.
Yeah,
it's mental, don't you think?
There's so many conspiracies and stuff, but it's like they want. I don't want to sound like a tin hat kind of person, but it's like they want to put your mind elsewhere while something else is being.
Well, it's not your tin hat, it's facts. isn't it? I mean, DC, what do you think about this coverage over the Royals?
Well, do you know what?
Like,
I don't know what you guys have an opinion on regarding the Prince Philip visiting the Duke of Edinburgh visits. That's been happening. Prince Charles visiting Prince Philip, in hospital. Now, what's we've all wanted to visit people in hospital if they've had COVID or whatnot. Does the Royals have free reign to do whatever they want? Are they different from the rest? Like, what do you think?
You see, I think now there's different circumstances with it now. You could always go and visit someone who was on their deathbed or in critical condition. So if he is in that way, then that's fair enough. Yeah. It's, at the end of the day, it's his dad. But I think there is now you can go and visit in certain hospitals. Allow people to go and visit in special circumstances if they are in critical condition and stuff. So I don't think, as much as I'm not a fan of the royal family, the guy's on his last legs, and if his child wants to visit him, I don't think it should be shunned upon if they're abiding the rules to that hospital. As long as they're not getting special priority, because that'll be the bad thing.
Yeah.
But that's not getting reported. But no, it's a son visiting his very, very, very old and ill dad. So
yeah, but I first of all completely agree with what you're saying. But then when you look up and down the country, there's hundreds of situations like that, don't you think? And and it might be on a hospital by hospital basis, but apparently, from what I hear. Again, don't know if this is fake news or not, but that this hospital is specializing in his care. So it's like this hospital where he's being treated at is specifically for him. I don't. It's not privatized or anything, but they've got it specialized for him. So it's interesting just to hear thoughts. What about you?
No. I'm not expecting to be on the NHS. It's probably people thinking that when Boris Johnson supposedly had COVID that he went to the NHS hospital. Obviously, there's no way he went to an NHS hospital.
I know.
So, but no, I don't.
Boris, what do you want for breakfast? Do you want cornflakes or toast?
I thought you were just asking us.
A random change in what that is.
Oh, what are we talking about? Weetabix now, yeah?
Cornflakes or toast, lads?
With beans.
No, we're in hospital, mate. Behave yourself. It's normally, cardboard, cornflakes, or warm bread. I don't know if you've ever had toast from there. It's horrendous. It's basic. Or do you like cardboard or warm bread, mate? What would you have anyway? Cornflakes or toast?
Depends on the day. Yeah, I have either.
I'm not gonna. I like my cookie crisps. I don't really like cornflakes anymore.
Golden nuggets, mate, all day.
Yeah, where you have chocolate chip cookies and then you put them with milk.
They are.
They are great.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, back to the topic.
Well, this is the part of the show where we talk randomness, isn't it? So
this is very true. Sorry, back to the cookie crisp.
No, but
I tell you something, mate. Right? Anyone who's made a massive living
out
of
a porn video, and that was it.
I mean, well, it's crazy, right? I was just about to say that the way she's made a living, you just got to take your hat off to her. Same with Katie Price. I mean, talk about what do you want to be? I'm just going to be famous. What's your talent? Just by being famous.
Having a fit body.
I mean, unreal. I mean, she is unreal.
She just came along at the right time with the kind of like reality TV crap that's going on right now on ITVB and stuff like that. Kind of hit the big popularity, and it just sort of started this whole wave of just shite TV. But people just seem to be so obsessed with it. Like, I see adverts for like when I come home from work, I'm watching ITV and it'll advertise ITVB, and some of the stuff on it, you're like, Jesus Christ, like celebrities go dating in a mansion. I saw an advert for the other day, and I'm seeing these celebrities show up, and I could not name a single one there.
Yeah, the recent I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here season, I didn't know half, probably 3/4 of the people that were on that show. It's like, this is supposed to be, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Well, what about everyone Gogglebox?
Gogglebox.
I mean, so not one Gogglebox, watch Gogglebox. What?
You know about
something?
Scarlett Moffat?
Yeah, that's it, Scarlett. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, when you looked at it and she went into the celeb jungle, she was famous for watching TV and then ends up winning it and becomes a huge star in the making. You know, if you want to get famous, it's so easy to do it now.
Kind of quirkiness to you and just have a... Not even that now, like...
You just got to find... Do you know what? You just got to find the gap in the market. That's all you got.
Gap in the market, yeah.
And that's it. Once you got that, you're flying.
You know, I mean, if you want to become famous, like literally, it's just so easy to do it now, isn't it?
Did you?
Oh yeah, talk about that. Yeah, tell your viewers about that. No.
No. That's going to be a whole.
Oh, okay.
No, that's going to be a whole episode.
A little
tease
of Jay's.
Yeah, good point. Ooh, see if you can find Jay on the internet, guys. Ooh. God. You know what, right? Whilst I'm looking through this horrible website of the Suns, they literally, because I'm from little old Derby anyway, it's crazy to see a picture of Grenfell. Lads, I know we're having a bit of fun now, but you guys go to London a lot, right? And I remember DC picking me up when we went to come see you, Dan, and I can't believe they've just put a sheet over it and it hasn't even been took down yet. I mean, I'm sure the investigations have been done. I mean, talk about a disaster that could have been prevented, right? 74, 75 people died from it. It's still out there currently, loads of cladding everywhere. I don't know if one of you guys want to explain actually.
Yeah, I can do. So, for anyone that doesn't know, this was, I don't know if it reached worldwide or not, but basically there was a tower block in London, and there are many tower blocks like it in London and elsewhere in the UK, where they've got flammable cladding around the outside of the building, and unfortunately, just before, I'm just reading something here, just before 1 a.m. on the 14th of June, a fire broke out in the kitchen of a 4th floor flat at the 23-storey tower block in North Kensington, West London. And within minutes, the fire had raced up the exterior of the building and then spread to all 4 sides. By 3 a.m., most of the upper floors were well alight. 72 people died, and since then, there's not really been done much to. Well, there's been some things that have been done, but not enough to satisfy what a lot of people feel was an injustice to those people that died that night. So, for example, the people who lived in that tower block have not been properly rehoused. Some of them still, in temporary accommodation. You've got many tower blocks like the sort that went up in flames, still with the flammable cladding, and some even being told that to remove that cladding, that they have to pay for it themselves. But there was something that came out, something that came out earlier this week. Can't remember what, but they said that they're going to get rid of this cladding. But again, it's all talk. It's just rather actions being done, and hopefully that the residents don't have to pay for it either. So it's pretty crazy that we're still talking about this now, and that it's a topic of discussion. And like you say, Jay, it's in the papers still. This should have been done, 2-3 months after it all happened. This happened in 2017. If this was Houses of Parliament, you would bet this would be over in under a year.
Have been rebuilt by now.
Yeah, exactly. So it just goes to show where the.
I'm kind of glad they've not torn it. That sounds horrible to say, but I'm kind of glad they've not torn it down yet, because it's just a reminder that nothing's been done.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell you something, because I really, really try not to get upset with this, because it does actually make me cry, believe it or not. It's hard that I think about all the people who lost their lives, and it's such an easy, preventable situation. And just because somebody cheaped out, that all them babies
But
and kids
going
died.
back to the media and stuff, like they started blaming like the firefighters for not acting quick enough.
Well, I was just about to say to you about the firefighters. The firefighters actually were stating to people to stay in their apartments and don't leave, and that they'll get to them. There was also a helicopter at the start that someone's suing them for, one of the relatives, who were telling everyone to get back inside, and they felt like they was going to get rescued, and it was just fake, you know. It was just going around. It was basically, you know, a TV reporter going around it. And these people was literally left there to die because poor advice. Instead of saying evacuate, it was told to stay in the house. You know, I just think that. Well, I'm sure it were, but you know, once it started getting,
they didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't
know it was the flammable cladding. They didn't realise how fast the fire would spread with this flammable cladding. So if they're experienced firemen that have seen, like, can analyse the fire at the current state when they arrive, probably thought to themselves, "Yeah, we can handle this. Stay where they think it's safe." But
yeah, to be fair, all the people that you're going to trust when the fire is going off are going to be the firemen, aren't you? So
exactly,
you're going to trust them.
You can't say they told them to stay in their houses because they couldn't be asked, or they
wanted them to die.
They wanted them to die, and they were slacking on the job that day. These are experienced. They're good. They're good at the job. They do what they do, and like you see the footage of them afterwards, and they look exhausted and just traumatized of what they've seen.
I tell you what's traumatizing is the people who watched other people jumping out the buildings because they had no hope and they was dying just because people's poor advice. There's no winners in this situation. There's literally none. You know, you can blame the firemen, you can blame the government, but nothing can return everything back. I remember you, DC, at work one day when you were, and I went, "What's up, man?" You looked down, and you went, "This government, you know, look what's happened. You know, they've literally done nothing." Can you remember this conversation? I know, and yes, DC, I know it's a horrible situation with Grenfell, and no one's done anything. However, look at the support with the community. It was absolutely amazing. I saw this horrible situation, and everyone was coming out and leaving stuff. It was fantastic, weren't it? Can you remember? The support from the local people was absolutely. It was. I've never seen.
I'll throw something at it.
Come together.
I might be completely wrong here, but could you apply this as a race issue?
Potentially, yeah. I feel, yeah.
I don't want to be one of those people that just want to throw races.
No. But do you know what? People that were living in that block were, you know, the majority of them were. I don't think it was necessarily race, but more class. You know,
class. Yeah, maybe a class issue.
If this was to do with, like I said, if this was the House of Parliament, it would not be a talking point anymore.
It wouldn't happen in the Houses of Parliament or rich kind of like tower blocks because they're not made of these cheap cladding.
Yeah. But besides the point, I mean, if it was, this was, I don't know, Canary Wharf or something of a bigger prominence to the economy, then
it'd been over. It'll be over by now.
Yeah, but the fact this is for the property is pretty much for low income families living there, people who, you know, don't have as much to give.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah, and they've been put up with all of this cheap stuff, well, death traps around them, you know. So it just goes to show where the priorities of the government lie. But again, I think not much as a race thing. Obviously, race comes into it because a lot of low income families, not obviously all of them are from minority ethnic backgrounds, but you know, a lot of them are, and obviously
but fair play to you. It is easy to throw a race card at a lot of things now, but I think you have got to hit the nail on the head there. It probably is more class, but it all stems like there's so much collection of stuff how the government views low income families and just the other end of the spectrum,
skilled workers, etc.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the I can't remember what paper it was, but someone posted on Facebook like the top listed essential workers and stuff. Let me see if I can find it.
I remember you putting this up on Facebook because I was something about arts and being one of the top unskilled, but then the metric was like the diagram that it showed was created by an artist.
An artist, yeah. Here we go. I got it here. So according to this news, it's a picture. I don't know what paper it is, but top 5 essential jobs: doctor and nurse. Second is cleaner. Third, garbage collector. Fourth, hawker. And 5, delivery man. Now, a hawker, I think, is a person who runs a shop.
Oh, okay.
But top 5.
By the way, the way the government goes about it, I'm surprised teaching is not in the top 5.
No, but
You know what I mean?
it just said the top 5 non-essential jobs was artist, telemarketer, social media manager, PR specialist, 4 business consultant, and number 5 human resource manager. And it was just the joke was that the top non-essential job was an artist. Yeah, an artist created that part of the paper. It's just funny.
It is funny.
Dude?
What did you say about TGs?
About what?
It's just, DC.
I just said, I'm surprised with the way the government goes about education being so important that teachers aren't in that top 5.
Oh, mate, I'm surprised you're even mentioning it. You guys are nothing.
They only want to open the schools
from when
so
they want
children
you.
can go
That's
back,
it.
and the parents who are not working because they're looking after their children can go back to work and get the economy going. Well, I'm sure Cecile's seen
Have
it
you
more than
seen the schools? And the way that kids
collect
their children is just ridiculous. Yes. Sorry, I live in Derby. Do they not do that in London? Where they're 10 and they've got a kid of their own? Wow. No. No, but on a serious note, I'll rephrase. How parents collect their children is basically like a free-for-all. There's no distancing around here. You just go in. You don't even need a face mask to go in.
I mean,
and I'm thinking,
what was it like in a
the
secondary school?
Do you know what I mean? Wow.
Pre the second lockdown, COVID safety.
Yeah.
It was. Do you know what? They were just hubs for breeding the disease, mate. Like, obviously, the plan. I agree with what the government is saying. There's nothing better than being in the school teaching the kids. You're never going to get a way around it. Remote learning is tough. And we don't know what situation's going on at home. There's such a golfing class with a lot of kids, and the technology that they have and the space that they have, and you've got many kids sharing laptops because they have siblings and stuff like that. So it's tough. So there's nothing better than being in the school. But when you're saying as our guidance was, the teachers can't mix with the kids, but the kids have their own bubbles. But you're talking 120 kids per year group in the same bubble. Any one of them can be on the bus, catch COVID, mix it with the 120 kids. They go home to their families. They go mix with their older relatives. They catch this. It was never going to work. Never. You'd have whole groups of people being going off and self-isolating. And it's impossible. Yes, you were trying to keep the teacher safe. I get the principle. But you can't say you're going to have 140 kids, 120 kids plus bubbles. When we're talking about bubbles in football, for example, you're talking about just the defenders will be in the bubble, or and different aspects of the team. The coaches will be in the bubble, not 120 people, especially teenagers, youngsters, who all they want to do at their young age, and I don't blame them, is to just touch each other and football and slapping each other on the back of the heads and doing all this kind of stuff, So, and giving each other hugs. Exactly, but they're not going to.
You've got to be 2 meters apart
because they won't keep to it. So
a 2 meter wedgie, Jesus.
So it's a flawed system, and I hope that they're probably going to go back to it when we hear the news tomorrow or something. But it
sounds like the people who are setting the guidelines out just don't seem to have an idea of what it's actually like in a public school. Like, I can imagine a lot of these people who have set these guidelines either went to private school or have children in private schools. Like, I'm not saying that it's completely different and they have special COVID restrictions and stuff that will work perfectly. But I've worked in a public primary school. I've worked in a reception class, and God, I don't know what it's like at the moment, COVID-wise, but like you can't tell a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old to stay 2 meters apart and like be more hygienic. It's just like kids are dirty, unfortunately, and just having all of them in one enclosed space. Like it says, it's such a flawed system. They don't seem to get. Like,
apparently, COVID doesn't enter schools.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's just there's one word to sum up this current government, and it's just frustration.
I think, yeah, for sure. I mean, what do you think about the opposition currently? I mean, are they doing a good job of holding the government to account? I think he's doing okay.
I've said it before.
He's not the realm, is he? You know,
you can't call yourself a socialist and accept a knighthood.
Yeah. Well, is he a socialist? We're going more right than we. I don't think it's that we're in economy struggle.
Repeat that again, man.
Right, wing. I just think it's weird, man. I said every time we're in an economy struggle, we always tend to go right wing as a country, you know. We go more to the right, not necessarily the racism thing, but like in the fact of, you know, cut spending dramatically, you know, cut jobs, you know, the worker doesn't matter. We always do that heavily, don't we?
Yeah,
instead of you know, trying to support one another.
At the moment, I think the left's so divided in itself that you can't build a strong opposition. Like, I don't think the left at the moment even can consider themselves left wing. Like, the whole, like, this is a entirely different topic as well, and I've voiced my opinions on cancel culture and stuff like that, but at the current state of it at the moment is there's no kind of like opposition that would probably get in with proper left wing views, because no one can take the left side seriously right now. Personally, I think Keir Starmer might have a good chance, because he's so-called left wing, but at heart he's got more centralist kind of pushing right wing views, hiding in a cover of left wing politics. But no, like,
I think he just has to keep momentum happy, you know, the left wing aspect of it.
Like, obviously, the man had his faults, drastic faults, but I always believe there was good intentions at heart there. He had his beliefs and he stuck by them, no matter what side. That even at the left, obviously, had his problems with the anti-Semitism and stuff. But yeah, currently at the moment, especially Labour is obviously the voice for left-wing politics right now. I think Labour's so broken up as to what its identity is. Like, it seems to be wanting to please, because the left side's so divided. It's trying to please every single part of the left side, so it can't keep itself under control to form a kind of strong opposition. But at the moment, I reckon if there is a general election, I reckon Keir Starmer would have a strong chance of getting him.
It's interesting.
And do you think that, DC?
If there were to be a general election now, just like in America, you know, I think COVID's going to stay in the minds of a lot of people, especially those that have lost loved ones. And if there were people that had doubts about the government, that didn't have doubts about the current government, regardless of where you put Labour, I think a lot of people do think that the current government have been very arrogant and have stuck with their people and been loyal to their people. You know, Dominic Cummings, Matt Hancock, recent example, and people have just had enough of it. And people have seen that, you know, we are one of the leading countries in the world, but we've treated COVID with such bad respect that a lot of people and we paid the price for it with 100,000 plus deaths. So I think people won't forget about that. And if there were to be an election now, I think it'd be very, very close to see the tables turning. You got, and people talk about the opinion polls and stuff not going in Keir Starmer's favour, but we all know that they don't matter until we get to the elections. Opinion polls count for nothing these days. So, exactly.
Well, if he did, Trump wouldn't get a quarter of what he did.
I don't know. I think politics has had to be put aside ever so slightly because of Brexit and more so the pandemic. But I think once the pandemic's over, then we'll really start to see Keir Starmer come out of his shell a bit, because I feel that he's had to side with the government on some of these issues, especially to do with COVID. Getting schools back and all this different kind of stuff, the vaccinations and everything. So I think he's had to play ball with the government just because everyone wants to get out of this mess and we need some kind of unity. But then once we get to the crucial issues of stuff like Grenfell, the big divide in class, economy, all that kind of stuff, then we'll see a proper battle.
But will you see, if a Keir Starmer does come in, will you see that kind of ideology? Like, I'm coming from a point where I really wanted Corbyn to be Prime Minister because the whole attack on the big corporate taxes front and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But will you see that kind of thing with Keir Starmer? He seems to be. I don't fully understand what his principles are and what he wants. There's just so much hidden with him at the moment.
Exactly, we've not had the opportunity to see him in action. Yeah,
exactly. But even before he came in, it was just something. I didn't like him then. I don't really like him now. But going back to what you said with the government right now, I think to sum up all you said and to sum up this government right now, it's just a lack of humility. It's just like what I said in the previous podcast when I talked about comparing to the West Ham board to the current government. Admit your faults, come down to a human level and admit you've got it wrong. Don't hide behind this arrogant brick wall of we're doing everything possible, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Come down and be like, look, yes, we couldn't predict what would happen with COVID. We made mistakes. People have died because of our mistakes. But if you stick with us, we promise you we'll do this and that. Come down, get us. But they never will do it. And if they did do it, I probably wouldn't buy it. But if I was them, I'd want to be getting the public back on my side and just kind of motivating them a bit more and getting them inspired to believe in that government. But right now, it's just lack of humility, no humanity, and just pure arrogance is all I'm getting from this government right now.
Mm-hmm.
100% agree with you guys. And on that note, we'll wrap this up. Thank you very much, lads, for being on. Nice shooting the breeze.
Rant about things that affect our life. Nice.
By the way, the sound's not all that bad. You still got page 3.
Well, if you guys want us to talk about random stuff, just put it in the comments below. I tell you what, we've had a great reach from Mexico to America, Philippines, South Africa. We're getting quite a lot of international recognition now, boys. All I can say is we're very, very happy that you've decided to join us on our march to 1,000 subscribers. We're having a lot of people who are watching us currently, and they're just not subbing. So we need you to subscribe
are they able to send
and click the bell notification, guys.
Yeah, comment, give us some ideas. Give us
just go in the comment section on YouTube. That's all you need to do. Exactly. And if you do, you can automatically go in West Ham's Europa League squad provisional. Did you know that?
You'll get signed up.
If you comment below and subscribe,
You'll be in the 25.
Well, no,
squad.
you don't. You get to go in the provisional Europa League squad. Exactly. So make sure you're subscribed, guys. Oh my God, have you heard? Flipping egg! I can't stop. Dele Alli's already subscribed already.
You're not leaving Spurs.
No, Dele. No. Never. Oh, and Danny Rose, for flip's sake, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Danny Rose, next subject. Peace out. Thank you very much, boys. And
yeah, you need to.
Yeah,
you need to
and
learn
I tell
how
you
to wrap
what,
a
we do
podcast
need
up.
to work on a signature goodbye. Yeah, I do, because otherwise it goes like this.
Yeah.
So